everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around. And now we're going to do the segment called Ask the Question. And if you don't know, obviously, the Ask the Question is things that we bring to you that are taboo, that our society, our culture doesn't really talk about, but we bring it right here on the Sister Show and we discuss it, of course. So the first thing that we want to bring up today is, what are some of the things that kids and youths and children generally are tabooed or told not to do, frowned upon if they do it? It's like, oh, you're a child, you can't do this, you can't do that, right? Well, like we were talking during the break and you said what?
Sometimes, I don't know if it's in other African countries, but in Gambia, they say that the child is not supposed to eat the head of the fish because it makes it dumb.
I think what they're trying to do is just to give the head to the father, the leader in the house. And that's why there's no democracy in Africa, because there was no democracy in the house in the first place.
But actually, the funny thing is though, Dr. J used to eat all the fish heads in the house.
But Ole and Dr. J, and if you're watching, let us know what are some of the things that you heard as a child that kids are not supposed to do, but then after now you were like, what was that about? Right? If you think about it, doesn't fish have a lot of omega-3, right, Dr.
Yeah,
J?
it's actually good for kids, right?
Right, isn't the head very fatty?
Yeah, the head is very fatty, and fish oil or fish is
Right.
actually brain food. So when they say it was supposed to make you dumb, that's not true. I guess I ate a lot of fish head and I'm not stupid.
So, okay, look at Amy's eyes all the way up in the ceiling. Anyways, no, but you know, it's ironic. So because it's actually supposed to make you smarter. So then we should actually tell the adults and the parents to allow kids to eat the fish head because they need to be smart, because you already adult, you already grown, you already have all the smartness you need. Let the kids.
Juka, didn't you hear my point? That will
What's your
never
point?
happen because there is no democracy in the households. They want to keep that head for the husband, the father.
But Amy, let's
and the
give them
mother.
the benefit. Let's give them the benefit of the
I
doubt.
am not giving them no benefit of the doubt. The reason why we had dictatorships in our governments is because they started from the household. You want to take all the meat and give it to one person. You want to take all the fish head and give it to one person, and we don't have the meat. We don't have the fish head.
So Amy, you want to protest? You want to protest for fish head? So if you want to protest with Amy,
Amy's mad because she didn't eat the fish head.
I share the same plate with my father. Nobody is going to suppress me into not eating my fish head and my meat. I will eat with
Because
him.
you're chopatiku.
I remember I remember this, right? One of my dad's sisters, she used to come from the village. Every time she comes, my mom would say, "Oh, go eat with your aunt. Go eat with your aunt. Eat with your aunt," right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go to eat with this woman, every time she comes to town, we are eating, and normally like we'll make salad with chicken or meat or something, shrimp or whatever. We'll be eating, and she would just take all the salad and she just puts it in front of me. She said, "Oh, eat the leaves. The leaves are good for it's good for your growth." I say, "Leaves? Me? You are mad. I'm not eating no leaves. I want the meat." So every time she comes, my mom says, "Go eat your." I say, "Hell no. I'm not eating with her. That lady eat all the meat."
Yeah, and also they do tell us not to have your hands in the middle of the bowl, right? Like you're supposed to
I'm
eat,
telling
right?
you, it's all part of trying to suppress you from not eating and being a dictator.
They also say, like, when you're eating with the adults, you're supposed to hold the bowl with one finger. Like,
The same thing I'm telling you. If you look at the mindset, is to you hold the bowl. I'm eating. You hold the bowl for me. Dictatorship. Okay, so I can eat faster and eat more meat. So what are you doing? You see, it's all dictatorship. They were just lying to us. Don't listen to them. Don't hold no bowl. Let the bowl drag. Let's all drag as we eat it.
Amy, what about the fact that when you talk to your elders, you're not supposed to look at them in the eye. You're supposed to bow down.
You're supposed to look down. And you know what? This is serious. I remember I had a friend, right? He's from Senegal, and he used to play basketball. And he said, in Senegal, it's the same culture. When you talk to elders, you're supposed to look down. So his coach, when he came here, I dated the guy. So his coach, when he came to the US, his coach schooled him and said, when I talk to you, look at my eyes, because if you're talking and telling me something and you look down, that's a sign that you are not telling the truth. You're not being honest. You're lying. And also, you don't have confidence. So finally, he opened up, he explained to the coach that this is the culture, this is what and the coach said, no, we're going to change that culture because it's not right. have the confidence when we're gonna do something, look at them in the eye and show them that you're gonna dunk the ball. So this guy, we went on a date, and this guy sitting there looking at me like this. No blink. I'm like, okay, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He's just staring at me. So then I was like, why do you keep staring at me? And he goes, oh, so then he explained the story to me. I was like, okay, but you gotta find the balance now. You can't just be staring at people like this.
That's really crazy, right? That in Africa they will actually teach us to like look down, like, right? Whereas in the West, like you said, that's like if somebody's talking to you and not looking in the eye, that means like you're not either self-confident, you're lying. And also like if you shake somebody's hand, like, right, like you have to like shake it like very, very firm.
These kids believe this so much. I remember TJ, he was telling us a story that when he went to Gambia, he felt like he was the king in the school because he's like, oh, those kids, they were not confident. And you know, a kid that came from America that went home to Gambia, you have all the confidence in the world. You think you're the best thing that has ever happened. You walk like this, you know? And then every kid there, the teacher talks to them, you look down. The teacher lie, you can't say you lie. I got suspended from school indefinitely.
Which school?
I'm telling you, no. Because we used to have a teacher that didn't believe in putting on deodorant. And she would come to class and stink the hell out. And I was talking to my friends and I was telling them, I was like, man, this lady stinks, you know? But I didn't know that her daughter was there around us and she could hear us and she could speak Wolof. And then she went and told her mom the next day, and then I came to school on Monday and I was suspended from school indefinitely for speaking my mind that the teacher was thinking. And my mom whooped the hell out of my butt. For no reason, for me speaking my mind.
If you're watching, share your stories. What are some of the things that you witnessed growing up as a child? Like I said, that actually now have you scratching your head like, okay, that was crazy. So what else can you share, ladies? Do you guys remember about also like asking a question? Like if somebody says something and you want to ask, they say you're nosy or you're fast, or when a elderly comes to your house to visit you, to visit the house, it's your own home. They come to visit you. You're supposed to leave the bedroom, or you're supposed to exit the living room and allow them to be in the, huh?
Yeah, you're supposed to leave the living room and go sit in the room and read a book. That's why we all hate school. Because the only way to school was to punish us. No, because the only way to like learning and reading a book, I hate reading. Because the only way my mom will punish me is to read. Yeah, so you know, obviously I'm gonna hate reading. Because every time you want to punish me, read, go read. So now guess what? Now I don't want to read because I feel like I'm getting punished.
No, my mom was telling you to read so that you wouldn't be calling teachers smelly. No. You dare not ask in an African home questions like why, right? Like if your mom says, oh, we're not supposed to do laundry or whatever on a Saturday. Like you can't even ask like why, like what's the context around that, right?
You're not supposed to do laundry on Saturdays because they say it makes you broke. Like,
go back.
The only thing that makes you broke is not getting a job, not doing laundry.
Right, I think so. If you live in the West, you actually do laundry on the weekends.
On a weekend, on a Saturday, except if you don't have a job. Right?
No, but you know what? You know one that I don't understand until today, and I still need somebody to explain. When you go to a funeral, when you come, you use the back door of the house and you take your veil out and you hang it, and before you come inside the house. What is for what?
I've never heard of that, Amy.
Yes, it's there too. Like when you go to a funeral, you're not supposed to come. Like if you going back home, if you entered from the front door, you should go.
Oh, you're supposed to use the other way.
Yes, and then the scarf that you have, you should hang it outside and not bring it because they're trying to prevent you from bringing the bad karma of bringing the dead person.
No. I have a feeling that our great-great-grandparents, they did certain things for some reason. But even though that reason isn't there anymore, but we're still doing the same thing. Did I make sense there?
The main issue is that they're not telling us why, right? Because mostly in African culture.
Because there's no reason.
So that's what I mean, because it's being translated from generation to generation, right? So let's say you and my generation, we have no clue like what a lot of the things, like why they were telling us not to do. Like sometimes my kids ask me like why, and I'm like, I have no idea.
So that means you feeding the same stuff you learned from your parents to your kids.
Exactly. It just keeps going and nobody knows why, and it may not even make sense anymore.
if it doesn't make sense, please don't transfer to your kids. I beg, okay?
But most of the time, I'll explain to them, but they will be like, "That does not make sense," and I don't have any answer. Like
that means it doesn't
that's
make
what I was
sense.
told.
If you're watching, continue to comment. Also, let us know some of the taboo stuff that you heard growing up as a child that makes no sense at this point. Let's break those taboos and those stigmas. Stick around. We'll be right back to continue the conversation on youth and development in Africa on Building Africa. We'll be right back.